here we are at the Hyatt down in Denver. I'm here with Dan, and we're just having a bit of a chat. Going to be spend the next week with Dan as we look around Boulder and Denver and San Francisco, taking a look at some startups as part of the Startup Catalyst weekend. And thanks very much to Startup Catalyst and Advanced Queensland for helping us out a bit on this journey. But before we begin, wouldn't mind just having a bit of a chat with Dan about what you're looking for and why you're on the trip, maybe where you're from, and what you hope to get out of it.
Sure. Hi, I'm Dan Swan. I'm the founder and co-founder of StartInno in Byron Bay and also startupacademy.org. It's great to be here. Thanks for this great interview, Chad, and the opportunity to share my views over a cheeky little beer. Look, I'm really excited about this trip because we're not just looking at mainstream large corporates, we're really looking at some of the regional hubs and incubators and accelerators. And of course, starting off the trip, I think in Denver, and then we're going to Boulder. I'm meeting some of the Techstars guys, the authors of the Boulder thesis and creators of Startup Weekend. For me, that's going to provide some really, quintessential case studies of what's really happening on the ground which is, the mecca of startups, right, in the US. And then, of course, on to San Francisco, seeing, hopefully meeting Dave McClure of 500 Startups and looking at some of the other guys, catching up with Hamish from StartMate, Mick from Murray D, the Kiwi landing pad, the Aussie landing pad. I think it's going to be very cool.
Yeah. And you're based out of Byron. So what's the startup scene there like? The co-working space, accelerator. What are your startups looking for in that space? And what do you think you'll get from this trip that you can bring back there?
I think it's really understanding what the benchmark is in terms of regional and what you can and can't achieve, and what are the barriers in regional ecosystems. For us, we've got a very, from a startup point of view, probably a bit of a nascent startup scene. We've personally been going about 2.5 years, and we're really the only real startup hub in Byron. But as I was saying to you earlier, Byron's also got a lot happening. It doesn't mean that just because you're not a startup that there aren't some amazing businesses there. We've Spell Designs this year took out the Telstra Business Award, and that's not just New South Wales they took out the headline award. Previously Stone and Wood have done that, previously Brook Farms have done that. We've got Tripadil, and we've got some amazing businesses which are highly successful in Byron. But what we obviously want to do is really kind of try and push the innovation message and push new businesses, new ideas, and really exciting businesses that can grow and scale internationally. And what better place to start than in the US and internationally to at least work our way backwards and try and reverse engineer a few things.
Yeah. And how long have you guys been going?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
So in Ipswich at Fire Station 101, we've been going for about 12 months now.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. We've got about 60 or so startups, entrepreneurs that are giving it a go. You being around for 2.5 years, part of what we're doing on the trip is not only learning from the US, but also learning from other people on the trip. What would be some words of advice that you give, looking back after your first year, on what we should expect for the next 1.5 years or so?
I think congratulations, first of all, for hitting 12 months. That's an enormous achievement. The first 12 months in any business are always the hardest. My words of advice for any hub is to just try and learn as much as possible, reflect on, try and measure as much as you possibly can, and really act on those insights that you're learning, because that helps you inform you for the next 12 months, of course, which, we chatted about, and there's no doubt you're already doing. I guess the message for the wider startup scene in Ipswich and surrounding areas is, if you're not already into it, and this is always my number one message, just start, just get out there, just do something. If you've got an idea or half an idea, getting out there and testing it and getting it in front of the people and not just talking about it and actually doing it is the most important thing. And the great thing is about startups, you don't have to remortgage the house, you don't have to, you can do it on very lean and on a very small and tight budget. So whatever you spend in there, you know, the risks that you take, will, you know, obviously make sure that they're calculated, but you know, the return of investment for you personally and your entrepreneurial journey are second to none.
Excellent. Thanks. We'll look forward to the next few days with you, the next week as we hit the other places, and yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It'll be great.
Excellent.
It's my roomie.
First thing we had to do a bit of a safety brief. So more than anything else, it's just in the event that I get hit by a bus. Please carry on the mission without me. Pete has led three Silent Catalyst youth missions to San Francisco before. He's my deputised 2IC for the mission, so if something happens to me, hit Pete up. Pete normally has
You're going to travel in separate cars and eat separate meals?
Yeah.
So everybody protect the Queen.
Troy will taste your food, right? So.
Pete's job on a Catalyst mission is a lot of things, but one of them, which I frame it as a regimental sergeant major, and that's to keep everyone on track and on schedule. Very quickly, a group this size can sort of splinter off like marbles. So Pete's going to help me wrangle all you guys and girls together to make sure we are where we need to be. Otherwise, on the top of the schedule, there's the details for the Australian consulate.
All right, so night 2 in Denver with the some of the Startup Catalyst guys. Who are you and where are you from?
Shannon, Perth, WA.
Dan, Byron Bay.
Dan, Byron Bay.
Shannon, Perth, WA.
Cool. Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Australia. I'm from Australia. Ayla from Australia.
And where in Australia?
Brisbane.
Mike Black from the Sunshine Coast.
All right, and we know you.
And I'm Joy from Toowoomba again. Hello.
Again.